Oh my God! White hailstones fell for hours, turning the road into a cold, white blanket. Fallen trees and scattered leaves only added to the terror of the hailstorm as it ravaged the city. Sharp hailstones fell from above at a terrifying speed, causing devastation beyond imagination. If you feel the intensity of this moment, leave a number 1 in the comments. In a short period, the entire city in China seemed to be covered by countless hailstones falling from the sky. The prolonged rain combined with the hail has pushed the area into severe flooding, creating a double disaster that the residents must brace themselves to face. Hail is not only a dangerous phenomenon, but also a severe threat to crops. Once fertile lands are now suffering from catastrophic damage. Lush greenery has been crushed under the icy stones, succumbing to this terrifying disaster. Oh my God! Imagine each storm leaving behind devastating marks. Crops and trees are nearly flattened, bowing under the relentless power of Mother Nature. The scene seems submerged under layers of white ice, creating the feeling that an apocalyptic event has swept through China. Unbelievable! Each layer of hail keeps piling up, creating a dense blanket that makes travel and recovery incredibly difficult. The layers of hail, like fragments of a nightmare, stack up to form a thick cover over the entire city. Each hailstorm not only turns the streets into a white battlefield, but also makes travel nearly impossible. This scene not only paralyzes all traffic, but also gives the impression that the city has just experienced an apocalyptic day, with signs of devastation visible everywhere. Oh no! An entire bustling food district has now been submerged in the disaster of hail. Everything has been brutally covered, leaving behind the most desolate and frightening scene you can imagine. It doesn't stop there! The fierce hailstorms have left behind a desolate scene with sharp stones covering the streets. Buildings and homes have been devastated, and vehicles are submerged in the icy stones. People are not only facing physical destruction, but also fearing for the future, as their lives are disrupted and recovery becomes increasingly difficult. This is truly the most desolate scene. Alongside the horrific hailstorms, terrifying floods are sweeping through Beijing, China. Oh my God! After days of relentless and severe rain, the most populous city is now facing a horrific flooding situation. Dark swirling waters are pouring in, creating a chilling and unbelievable scene as you witness this tremendous devastation. Floods are considered one of the worst disasters that Mother Nature can inflict. The muddy torrents devastate everything in their path, leaving behind a terrifying nightmare and desolation for the people of China. Hold on for a few seconds. If you found the moments we shared truly fascinating, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to follow us for more. On the other hand, if you enjoyed this content, please click like to let us know your thoughts. Currently, Guangzhou is experiencing the worst flooding it has ever faced. The residents are confronting the terrifying threats posed by this disaster. Going outside has become extremely dangerous as water levels rise and risks continue to increase. All the commercial areas and markets are submerged in devastation and ruin caused by the severe hailstorm, making everything extremely hazardous. The most severe scene. As the violent hailstorm passes, it not only leaves behind terrifying remnants, but also ushers in another disaster, the most intense flooding that floods China. The muddy floodwaters, carrying debris and remnants from the hailstorm, sweep away everything in their path. The city is submerged in water, with flooding covering everywhere, turning bustling streets into chaotic rivers. The combination of hail and flooding has created a scene of devastation, leaving people facing indescribable fear and loss. If you find this moment terrifying, leave a 1 in the comments. The terror has only just begun. Each rushing wave seems intent on sweeping everything away, dark and violently terrifying. Wherever it flows, all that remains are remnants of devastation and ruin. That's why it is considered one of the most horrific disasters nature can unleash, destroying the peace of human life. Even more terrifying, the entire large city is now submerged in the horrifying floodwaters, rendering everything desolate and haunting. Now, movement for residents has become extremely difficult as the floodwaters continue to rise. Daily life seems to be at a standstill, with the disaster bringing only inconvenience and immense challenges. Do you know what's even scarier? It's the lingering consequences after the disaster that continue long into the future. When floods persist or rain continues for days, sea levels can rise to dangerous levels. Even worse, this creates ideal conditions for devastating tsunamis to form, carrying with them tremendous destructive power. With that kind of force, just one sweep can submerge an entire city under a sea of water. The consequences of a tsunami are devastating. Coastal cities endure the fiercest waves, causing severe erosion to the land. Environmental changes are also severe, with coastal erosion, loss of agricultural land, and water pollution harming marine ecosystems. Recovering from a tsunami is a monumental challenge, requiring debris removal, infrastructure repair, and support for victims. Tsunamis are among the most destructive natural disasters, leaving long-lasting impacts and making the return to normalcy a daunting task. All right, now let's get back to the icebergs that are collapsing with a destructive force on the beach. Massive icebergs seem unable to withstand the changing climate, and the impact of both the environment and human activity, leading to a series of catastrophic collapses. This creates a chaotic and alarming situation on the beach. When massive ice blocks collapse, they not only cause an immediate rise in water levels, but also generate large waves that can lead to tsunamis if the collapse occurs on a large enough scale. These waves have devastating power, sweeping away everything in their path, from coastal structures to ships and infrastructure. The collapse of ice also disrupts the marine environment, leading to water pollution with ice debris and other contaminants, severely impacting the marine ecosystem.
You see that?
Marine species, from fish to shellfish and plankton, can be destroyed or displaced from their habitats. Additionally, the melting ice and landslides contribute to rising sea levels, accelerating the flooding of coastal areas and increasing shoreline erosion. That winter, Maobon was unexpectedly enveloped in a blanket of white. An unusual hailstorm turned the entire village into a frozen wonderland. The round white hailstones fell in torrents, like thousands of marbles crashing onto rooftops and windows, creating a lively symphony. The sounds of children's cheers echoed throughout the village as they eagerly ran outside to catch the hailstones in their hands. The surroundings took on a magical quality, with bare branches covered in a delicate layer of ice, sparkling under the sun. The once tranquil village became bustling with activity as the residents gathered, discussing this extraordinary phenomenon. The fierce flood transformed Wadi Harib into an expanse of vast waters. The Jarada Bridge, once a vital link between the two banks, now lay in ruins. Hundreds of homes were swept away, and fields were ravaged. The local residents lost everything they had, plunging their lives into darkness. This morning, Manila was engulfed in a sea of water. The roaring sea winds and torrential rain transformed the once busy streets into desolate wastelands. Strong gusts whipped leaves and branches into the air, posing a threat to anyone caught outside. The image of a man filming his attempt to find shelter amidst the storm underscored the harshness of nature and the fragility of human life. Despite the difficulties it brought, the storm also bestowed a wild beauty upon Manila. Lightning streaked across the pitch-black sky, and the relentless downpour painted a grand tableau of nature's raw power. If you plan to travel to Shanghai this season, be cautious of the large hailstorms. The weather in Shanghai during this time is highly unpredictable and unstable. Just 10 minutes ago, a bus driver was getting ready to pick up passengers under the bright sun, with a cool breeze sweeping across the horizon. However, the tranquility was quickly shattered as dark clouds rolled in, bringing torrential rain. That summer, the Salmon River transformed into a dramatic battleground. As fierce waves crashed against tiny boats and aggressive whirlpools swallowed everything in their path, the paddlers faced their toughest challenges. Yet it was precisely in these perilous moments that the majestic beauty of nature shone through even more vividly. The Salmon River, with its wild power and mysterious allure, became a symbol of human spirit and the quest for exploration. It's unbelievable. The storm roared like a colossal monster, swallowing the entire sky over Ontario. Dense black clouds piled up like a solid wall, blocking out the sunlight. The howling wind and torrential rain obliterated everything in their path. The ominous, extended ravine, like a deep gash in the earth, only heightened the storm's ferocity. The deafening roar, like thunder right beside you, made the room on the 12th floor shake violently. Items on the table and shelves crashed to the floor, shattering into pieces. The entire building felt like a ship caught in a storm at sea, swaying uncontrollably. Oh my goodness! The sky, once a deep blue, is now turning a murky yellow, then a dark fiery orange. Dust fills the air, obscuring the majestic mountains that were once the pride of the small village nestled at the foot of the Himalayas. The fierce sandstorm roars through, whipping up clouds of dust that scratch the skin of the villagers. Oh my goodness! A famous dam in China Province, China, once hailed as the most beautiful dam, is now facing a disaster due to rising water levels, causing severe erosion. The lava flow from Kilauea, like a colossal fire serpent, writhes down the mountainside, consuming everything in its path. The electric wires snap under the intense heat, burning like silver threads in a sea of flames. The bright red lava rushes forth, like the Earth's fiery blood, obliterating everything it encounters.
导致这座山体垮塌的原因，除了气候以外，就是自然风化因素。
Mexico, a city accustomed to golden sunshine, suddenly transformed into a frozen realm. Hailstones fell in torrents, as if nature were playing a bizarre prank, leaving residents both astonished and delighted. The prolonged hailstorm disrupted daily life, with icy hailstones blanketing the ground in a pristine white layer, turning the city into a strange and enchanting landscape. After 12 days of severe drought, the hydroelectric dam in Fujian, China, faced a tough decision to open all 12 floodgates. As water surged powerfully from the dam, the river below quickly swelled, carrying the majestic force of nature. The roaring sound of the water, echoing like the calls of a vast wilderness, spread throughout the area, evoking a sense of both awe and fear. Unbelievable! The people of Bakjiang must be wondering, are we living in some sort of magical land? With such torrential rainfall, Bakjiang has officially joined the ranks of the world's wettest cities. One would think that flooding was something only the central region experienced, but who could have imagined Bakjiang's unexpected turn of events? If you find our video interesting, please leave a comment with the number 1 below the video. The Brisbane storm hit with such surprise that it turned the city into chaos. The storm transformed Brisbane into a colossal blender, crushing everything in its path. Hailstones pelted down like icy bullets, turning busy streets into rivers of white. The Suncorp building, with its modern touch-sensitive doors, wasn't spared from nature's wrath. The touch-sensitive doors seemed haunted by the storm, opening and closing continuously. The building's sensor system must be thoroughly confused by the abrupt changes in air pressure. The massive glass doors of the building looked like frightened eyes, constantly opening and closing in the face of the storm's fury. This scene was reminiscent of a giant ship struggling against monstrous waves.
Is it on?
No, it's still burning. Call 911. Oh!
The clouds in Spain are soft and fluffy, drifting lazily across the sky like cotton candy. But don't let their sweet appearance deceive you, as hidden within them are lightning bolts, ready to tear the sky apart. Oh, wow! That colossal iceberg is astonishingly beautiful. It shimmers under the sunlight like a giant emerald, standing out against the deep blue of the ocean. I have never seen such a magical sight before. Hailstones the size of goose eggs came crashing down, powerful enough to shatter the windows of cars on the road. Signs were blown away, and traffic lights were not spared from the storm's destruction. The severe weather turned an ordinary day into a scene of chaos, reminding everyone of the unpredictable power of nature. The colossal iceberg drifted serenely across the sea like a fairy tale ice castle with towering cliffs, mysterious caverns, and sharp-pointed spires. Sunlight glinted off its surface, making the iceberg sparkle like a precious gem. It stood out against the deep blue of the ocean, like a giant snowflake lost in a world of water. The contrast between the pure white of the ice and the profound blue of the sea created a breathtaking scene. Gazing at the immense iceberg, I couldn't help but be awed by the majestic beauty of nature. The iceberg served as a reminder of nature's boundless power. The people of Spinaka, accustomed to scorching heat, were suddenly treated to an unexpected hailstorm. The hailstorm arrived like a playful prank from nature, turning the entire village into a scene of amusing chaos. Housewives rushed to grab plastic bowls, herding chickens inside, muttering, "Oh my, hail and now the eggs are falling too!" Meanwhile, the children delightedly cheered, running out to the yard to catch the cold hailstones in their mouths, laughing as they ate.
Don't go there.
One mischievous boy even donned a hat made of banana leaves, imagining himself as the king of this icy land. The torrential rain in Puchong led to an incident so extraordinary it's hard to believe. An ancient tree, which had proudly stood in front of the Parliament building, suddenly decided to retire amid the storm. In a cruel twist of fate, the tree fell directly onto the luxury car of the Deputy Prime Minister. Fortunately, the Deputy Prime Minister was not in the car at the time of the incident, or the consequences could have been far more severe.